welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you the most interesting bits in world sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across. Isn't that right, Mike?
That's right. We bring it to you with our unique sense of humor and wackiness. You never know what you're going to get here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right. We have a couple topics prepared for you in sports, entertainment, and odd news. But you never know. We'll go off on a little bit of a tangent if the mood should strike us. Here,
it often does.
Which it does, yes, here on the Crispy Noodle. Thank you guys for joining us on another crazy week. Another week in the books. It feels good here in Philadelphia. I feel like the summer is officially on its way out.
Yep.
Fall is finally here. The temperatures have dropped. I think this upcoming week is all 60s, so I think we're officially entering fall mode, so I could not be happier, as fall is one of my favorite times of the year. What about you?
I officially have like sweatpants on. I'm ready to go. Like I'm already, I never stopped drinking hot coffee, but hot coffee and tea and hot chocolate and sweatpants and
all the
burning pumpkin spice candles.
Are you a pumpkin spicer?
I mean, like
because you like those crazy.
I like the sweet
Starbucks.
drinks. So full disclosure, I really like the sweet drinks from Starbucks.
Yeah,
I have partaken in.
You seem like you would be a pumpkin spicer.
I have partaken in pumpkin spice lattes, but I will say this. I'm not like make everything pumpkin spice. Like there's some people out there, like my mom for one. She's like,
yes,
I got the pumpkin spice ice cream and the muffins and the cupcakes. Got the pumpkin spice coffee and
the first fall,
the Cheerios, pumpkin spice Cheerios.
Yeah, the first fall leaf hits the ground and it's like everything is
pumpkin spice. Everything.
Pumpkin spice.
So I do like the flavor, the taste of pumpkin spice, but I also want to keep the regular flavors too.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
I know. I wish it wasn't so like overblown. Like I could handle pumpkin spice.
It's pervasive, is what it is. It's like in everything.
Yeah. Like I think Dunkin' Donuts had pumpkin spice available like 3 weeks ago, like when it was like September 1st.
I think
that's a little too soon.
I think Starbucks did that too, didn't they?
Probably, because
man, they know people go crazy.
People
over
that love pumpkin spice, they love pumpkin spice. That is.
Here's the thing. I have allegiances to sports teams, to, some particular brands that I like, different movie franchise, TV shows. I don't have loyalty to flavors. You know what I mean? I'm not like death to plain pizza. I only eat pepperoni pizza. Like I don't like.
Yeah.
There's not like a fandom there for flavors. But pumpkin spice has a fandom.
Yeah.
Like it has like a universe.
Well, wait, what about pineapple and ham pizza, Hawaiian pizza?
You son of a bitch.
Oh,
no.
You do a little bit of a fandom, don't you?
No. Okay, so I'll say this. I have had Hawaiian pizza before. I don't like it, but I don't necessarily,
Death to everyone.
No, I don't want death to everyone.
Kill them.
Kill them. Heads off.
Yeah.
No.
Is that going to be you?
No, I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker, old style.
Pretty much.
There
pretty
you go.
much.
She's very angry today.
That's right.
I left the fader on that board really high. So sorry if you were listening to that one in your eardrum. Sorry, but she was very angry today. Do not piss her off.
No, I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker, old style.
Whoops.
No. I don't get that angry about it, but pumpkin spice and pumpkin spice lattes, they have a very strong fandom.
Yes.
They also, in the inverse, have a very strong anti-fandom, which I also don't get. If people like it, they like it. I'm not going to be like, don't drink it.
Yeah.
Drink it. I don't care. But yes, I have had it before, and it is tasty. Have you?
Yes.
And is it tasty?
It's all right. It's a good change of pace.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to be on it all the time.
Now, you know what I am actually looking forward to, which doesn't get nearly enough recognition? Eggnog lattes when it gets to the holiday season.
Okay, but you're not there yet. I mean,
no.
We literally just changed.
Rich, if I believe hard enough.
No.
No.
We no. It needs to be fall time right now.
You need to devote. Yeah, you need to have the fall and holiday seasons are different.
Yes, so we're not there yet. Speaking of not being there yet, we should like to do a personal bit. We went off on a tangent right away, right off the top of the bat.
We told you it was possible.
Yeah.
We warned you. Literally, like the first few lines.
Right off the top of the bat. So usually when we start the show, we usually like to do a little personal bit, let you know what we've been up to. So, Mike, besides the pumpkin spice lattes, what are you up to?
I finished season 2 of this show on Amazon Prime called Undone. It's a weird. I don't know what the term for it is. It's like an animation style that's like if you took like Bob Odenkirk is in it. So just imagine Bob Odenkirk, but he's like cell shaded. Like he's not voicing an animated character. He looks like himself. He's just been like there's like a filter applied on everyone. So it's like a unique, like weird animation style.
Does it look like a Take On Me music video?
Vaguely, but like more like less 80s.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah,
well,
I know
I'm done.
that's disappointing. But
Come on.
But once you hear about the plot, though, it may change your mind because it's pretty interesting. It is this like dark comedy that deals with these heavy psychological issues, specifically focused on this girl who loses her father and then discovers that she has the ability to travel through time. And so then she uses her ability to try to reconnect with her father, figure out what happened with his untimely potential murder, potential suicide, potential death, and try to, find some sort of peace in herself. And of course, it all goes horribly awry because when you play with time, it always does. And the show kind of just spirals off of that, and it kind of examines these psychological issues, these mental health issues through the lens of this dark comedy and the sort of sci-fi time travel, memory hopping, kind of thing. It's very cerebral, very abstract, and very, very cool. So definitely recommend it. And it's really short too. They're like half-hour episodes, 8 episodes, real quick.
All
So I finished the second season of that, which came out earlier this year. So that's what I did. What about you?
So I finally crossed something off of my bucket list.
Oh, okay.
I saw Top Gun 2.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I forgot that came out.
Yes, it's finally making its way on all the platforms. I think it's now on Amazon Prime, if I remember off the top of my head.
Oh, really?
I believe it's one of the. It's on. It's starting to get there now. It's now officially past the theater window.
Okay.
So it should be on some sort of streaming service that you have by now. I'm gonna say it was a good movie, but what was it? Before we watched the movie, I think Rachel pulled up the Metacritic score, and it was like a 98 or something. Like, it was ridiculous.
You're going to tell me you think that the first movie is the pinnacle of cinematic history, but the second movie is not as good when the critics think the exact opposite.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't understand where this, like...
Everybody, literally, like, you could look up the reviews and people are, like, going crazy. Are you telling me that's not the case?
It's a good follow-up movie. It's a good soft reboot, whatever you want to call it, but, like...
So...
I don't think it's, like...
Really?
The end-all, be-all.
Wow.
Like didn't we have a story where it played at a not a convention, what do you call it? A movie gathering, but not
film festival?
Thank you, a film festival. I couldn't think of the name.
I like movie gathering.
Yes, movie gathering.
It's a gathering of all the movies.
Yes, they all just line up. How you doing? No, Top Gun Maverick was at a film festival, and like people like gave it like a 10-minute standing ovation, and like somebody wept, and like like no, it's not that good.
Now
it was solid.
Rotten Tomatoes begs to disagree. They have a 96 out of 100.
Yeah, like it's not.
And the average rating is 8.2 out of 10. This is a very
all right.
Good
so that's
film.
More reasonable. I would give it like a 7.5 to an 8.
Wow, 7.5. That's low.
It's
for a Top Gun and you.
Like it's good. And there's a. Here's the thing. I think everybody's bar for this movie was set so low. Between the fact that Tom Cruise is now 60.
Oh, yeah.
This movie was shot, 4 years ago before COVID, and they didn't know.
Delayed.
Yeah, they didn't know how exactly this was going to come out in a post-COVID world. Between the fact that some people are still in it, but some people aren't from the original film, and there's some people that can't do what they used to do. Val Kilmer being one of them. I think that's another thing too. I think a lot of people were very emotional seeing Val Kilmer back on the screen, because he is now, fully dealing with the effects of throat cancer. He can't really speak anymore. So I think maybe that played a little bit of an edge on this, on like this whole like high Dev 9 rank. Like people are giving it like 90s and like 100s. Like
People really like it.
folks, no. If you're giving a movie a 90 or a 100, that's like Inception. That's like, oh my gosh, this is like a generational.
Right.
In my opinion, that to me, that's how I would rank a movie. If you're
Right.
giving a movie a 90 to 100, that's like Inception, like
It's like
iconic.
it's like you go out of your way. You have to see it. Like the true definition of a must see.
Correct. This is good, but I wouldn't say it's a must see. If you don't see it, all right, it's fine. You're all right.
So skip it is what you're saying?
No, I would say if you like the first Top Gun movie, definitely see this one. It was a little more mature. There was a lot, kind of more serious.
They're
more gravitas, if you will.
They're not playing with the boys anymore?
They did have but it wasn't volleyball. It was football.
Oh, it was a shirtless football scene.
So you should love it more.
My heart's already aflutter.
You should love it more because there's a football scene instead of volleyball scene.
Perfect.
So actually, this should be right up your alley.
Playing with the boys.
Yeah. Don't want to reach my desire. What? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a good movie, but I don't understand where, it got like a 10-minute standing ovation at the film festival, and somebody wept. Like,
I always thought those stories were blown out of proportion, and here you go. Somebody who's actually seen it is, leveling the expectations.
I think it was just like a combination of just those factors, and like people weren't sure. The bar is probably really low for this movie.
The bar was like on the ground. It was a movie from the 80s that was a below average film at best. Critically.
Hey.
I know you love it.
Now you take that back. Now you're trying to kick me when I'm down. No.
Critically. It was a cult classic.
Top Gun is so bad that it's great.
So it's like a chicken crossing the road joke. It's like a non-joke. It's a non-movie.
It's a movie that lives in your heart, whether you like it or not.
That I think is the key, whether you like it or not.
Yes. So take that. But yeah, I don't know. I was a little confused by all the critical acclaim that this movie got. It was good.
I still want to see it just because I need to know.
Yeah.
Like just curiosity killed the cat kind of thing. Like I have to find out.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That was what I did for this past weekend. I don't know. It threw me off for a loop.
Okay.
But other than that, there is one more thing that I did, and that revolves around our first batch of topics. Folks, we need to get into some sports news with the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face.
Yep, sports coming at you in your face here, and we got to talk about them Eagles.
Where are my Eagles?
Yeah, where are those Eagles, Mike?
Those Eagles are at the top of not the NFC East, but the NFL. They once again dominate, beating their division rival, the Washington Commanders, 24-8. They are one of only two undefeated teams left in the NFL this season.
Mamma mia! Boobies.
What does this guy think he's an Indian?
Like such as?
Yes, they put the hurt on the Washington no-names, the Washington football team.
They wipe the name right off of that jersey, right off of that stadium turf, because, man, what a performance.
Yes, 9 sacks on Carson Wentz.
It was at one point I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is just, I'm like watching a physical assault.
Yes.
I mean, 9 sacks, 17 quarterback hits. I don't know how many hurries. Carson Wentz was on the ground like 80% of that game. It was like almost disrespectful what we did to their offensive line.
Yes.
It was comical.
Yes.
Like, I think it was 6 sacks in the first half.
Yeah. You can't win games expecting an offensive line performance like that. It was utterly embarrassing.
Like shocking.
Yes. I mean, this is the NFL level. You should be at least giving a damn that your quarterback is constantly on the ground, but it just didn't seem like they were.
It was very impressive. 9 sacks, 17 quarterback hits. They only allowed, I think it was 240 yards total. Those are really, that's a really strong showing from the defense.
Yep, that's back-to-back powerful games from the defense.
Yeah, and matched equally by a performance on the offense. Hurts, he was throwing the ball again. You know,
Yes.
I really doubted him, and he came out, and I still think he's on a quest to personally prove me wrong. Because
So we need to give the weekly update since we're talking about Hurts. It's the weekly "Is He the Guy" segment.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
So, Mikey, is Jalen Hurts the guy?
look, everyone, I'm at kind of a crossroads here. I can admit here on the podcast after a performance like this, I can admit after a quarterback rating of 123, I could say the words, he's the guy. But do you want me to? Because, and I would argue, maybe not incorrectly so, that he is single-handedly trying to prove me wrong. That I've been...
What is your damn answer, Mike?
I think that he needs to continue proving himself. 3 games is not enough.
So he's not the guy.
Not yet.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
Look,
Wow.
Washington was depleted. They're not a very good football team. We know Wentz, our defense was crushing them. Hurts, for everything he did in the second quarter. That's it. 0 points scored in the first and the third and the fourth. And I understand going easy in the second half.
No. I want to actually, I'm so glad you mentioned that because this is a point I do want to bring up.
You have to play a full game.
The Eagles are not. This is
they have not in the first 3 games. They've not played a full game.
This is actually getting a little troublesome. The Eagles right now have played 3 NFL games, and in each of those NFL games, they have scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. That is not good.
It doesn't matter if you're leading or not.
Yeah, because what it's going to do is future opponents are going to be like, hey, guess what? Fourth quarter, we can still come back and win this game.
Yeah.
Especially seeing a game like the Lions in the first week of the season.
Yep.
Any team that gets behind the Eagles, they're still going to have a fighting chance and hope going into the fourth quarter because they know the Eagles, they apparently just turn off the gas. They don't go all the way.
And I think more than anything, this is not an indictment against the players. I think right now we have the talent on both sides of the ball and in pretty much every position. We have talent.
No, it's coaching.
Exactly.
That's straight up coaching.
This is just purely coaching. I mean, you have Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper himself, skinny Batman. What do you have? Like 150 yards in the first half. What did he have? What did he do the second half? Nothing. I mean, this is a person who was on pace for 300 total yards in a game at receiver. And I know you want to run the ball more in the second half. You want to kill the clock, yada, yada, yada. But I still believe that even if you're trying to do that to solidify a win, you still need to maintain balance and you still need to put points on the board to put your opponent down. Good teams do not sit back and let themselves roll to victory. Good teams like the Chiefs and the Bills and the Patriots in years past, not this year.
Yeah.
They go out and they finish games. They play until the whistle.
Yep.
The Eagles are taking not quarters off, they're taking halves of football off.
And that's not good, especially considering some of the outcomes we've seen so far in this season. I mean, it didn't take long. I forget the game now. Was it the Cardinals? It was one of the games. There was only 1:48. No, it was the Jets. There was 1:48 left in that game, down by 13 points.
Yeah.
Bam! They came back and won that game. Anything's possible.
You can absolutely do it.
You can score 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
When you have to.
Yeah.
So I know it's kind of like, oh, they were up. At the time they were up 24-2, I think, going into that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like you can say, oh, the game was put away, but you know what? No game is ever truly put away.
As Eagles fans, we remember the year where Mike Vick scored, what was it, 20-some unanswered points in 7 minutes?
Yeah, the Miracle at the Meadowlands.
The Miracle in Meadowlands Part 17 and a half. There's so many of them.
Yep. That was 3 touchdowns in 6 minutes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Came back and they won with a walk-off punt return by Deshaun Jackson.
Yep.
It can be done. We watched it ourselves, our own team do it.
So I will say that is a little concerning for me that they are not They're getting lazy. Coaching's getting
So I'm gonna ask
lazy in
you,
the fourth quarter.
I'm going to ask you, is Hurts the guy?
So far this season's, yes. I mean, I got to say, so far
Rich, he's going
been,
to stop performing if you give him too big of an ego.
Well, so far he's been living up to expectations. And to be honest with you, this is kind of the way we have set this team to be.
Yeah.
We wanted this to be the ultimate litmus test. Can Jalen Hurts actually lead an offense to the promised land in the NFL? Well, right now he's 3 for 3. So he's looking good so far. But I will say we haven't really seen true adversity yet. I want to see a situation
I was going to
where
say, yeah.
they need to score on a drive.
Yeah.
Let's see how he performs then. Let's see what they call.
It's all fun and games when you're leading and when things are clicking. But every opponent so far, the Lions, I know, gave us a test. But week 1, and it's still the Lions. I know they've improved, but again, they're still the Lions. They've been bad for 50 years. You don't just magically get good overnight.
Not even Megatron can do that.
Not even Megatron can do that. Then you got the Vikings. Kirk Cousins can't win in primetime. You know, for some reason, Justin Jefferson decided to stop performing at all this season.
Well, no, it's just they've been any corner that's been put on them has either shut him down or they've gotten more safety help on the back end.
If anything, the past couple of games have been more, a sign of how good our defense is rather than how good the offense is. I know Jalen Hurts did a lot in this game, but it's all very localized. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like 3 touchdowns and 340 yards over an entire game. It's like over like a quarter and a half.
2 quarters, yeah.
2 quarters. And that's not really... And I would buy the whole, trying to run out the clock, but they didn't really use Miles Sanders at all. He only had 15 carries. So it's like one of these things can't coexist. You can't be like, oh, well, the offense, stalled because we weren't, we were running the ball more. But that's not the case here.
Yeah. Okay, so still to wrap up, though, Mike is not happy with Jalen Hurts, I guess.
No, I mean, something.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
Yeah, there you go. I just wanted an excuse to play that clip again.
I know you did.
But we do need to get into the next part of our weekly NFL recap. And that is the bit where we're going to look towards this upcoming weekend. And we're going to pick 4 games that we think you should keep an eye out for. And then we're going to make our predictions on those games. We call it the Fantastic 4 picks. And this is for week number 4, I believe.
4, yes.
So here we go. The synthwave music is on. What are the Fantastic 4 picks and what are our predictions for them?
All right.
You want to start it, Mike?
Yeah, first up, we're going across the pond to London. We have our first international game this season. The Minnesota Vikings are traveling to the Saints' second home, I guess. The Saints are the home team here.
It is weird they lose a home game, but whatever.
But this is the Vikings at the Saints Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Start that football bright and early this weekend. Rich, who do you got here? Who's handling the jet lag best?
Yeah, it's a good way to phrase this because when you get to one of these overseas games or a game where it's on a neutral site, you have to think about this kind of in terms of who can handle a disruption to the season better. And right now, I kind of lost faith with the Vikings a little bit. The first 3 games have been very odd tales. The Vikings dominated the first week, showing off that NFC North division is up for grabs. But then they come to Philadelphia and lay a dud. And I feel like the Vikings have been exposed because they almost lost to the Lions last week. And the Lions followed the Eagles' game plan, which was just shut down Justin Jefferson. If Justin Jefferson can't get going, the whole thing comes apart here for the Vikings. And that's a little worrisome. I kind of thought they could rely more on guys like Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook, and they just haven't so far. It hasn't really translated into the same success they had in week 1. So I'm actually backing off on the Vikings on this one. I like the Saints. I think the Saints defense is going to be a little more ferocious. Jameis Winston, he's starting to get the hang of running the offense. I think the Saints pull this one off. They got Kamara back. I like the Saints. I think you take the Saints and whatever the point spread is. I like them.
You know, this is a tough one because I think the Saints have had just a tiny bit of a tougher schedule. So, you know, the 1-2 record, you know, could easily be the same as Minnesota. It could be flipped around, and it could be 2-1. It could be 3-0 because they've lost some close ones. And on paper, they're just better statistically, offense, defense. They're getting it done. At least in a statistical sense, if not in the win-loss column. But something about just the idea that the Vikings have so much to prove. The Saints, I think, were going into expecting a kind of rebuilding year. The Vikings were supposed to challenge for that division. And they have something to prove here, and where better to prove it than on an international stage. Justin Jefferson goes 2 weeks of being shut down. You know, I'm feeling like he can't be shut down 3 weeks in a row. Like, he's going to have a breakout game at some point. And it pains me to say it, but for whatever reason, I'm feeling the Vikings here. Like, are you telling me Justin Jefferson is going to be shut down 3 straight weeks?
I think this is not a good matchup for him to try and bounce back against. Saints have one of the best defensive backs in the NFC. I think this is going to be a tough spot.
I mean, that's a good place to prove himself.
If he's choosing to have a comeback game, this is a tough spot to do it in. I still like the Saints in this one.
Something about me just doesn't trust the Saints. Jameis Winston coughs the ball up too much sometimes. You know, if they find themselves in a hole, it's going to be tough. So I'm begrudgingly going to go with the Vikings here.
Oh, disagreement on the London game.
I got to. But maybe we'll agree on this one. We have Mahomes versus Brady. The Chiefs are traveling to Tampa Bay to face off against the Buccaneers. This is going to be a quarterback duel that everyone's going to love to tune in for. Rich, who do you have winning this one?
Honestly, I still think don't overthink this one. The Chiefs, they lost last week, but it was a couple of special teams miscues. There was a fake field goal that went awry. There was, I think, a punt that got muffed, and that's why they lost their game last week. I think the Chiefs are in a good spot here to rebound. I got to admit, Tom Brady doesn't look good this season. I don't know. There's something about his body language, the way he's kind of carrying himself on the field. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't have that same kind of excitement. I mean, even last week, he was so slow that he caused a delay of game penalty on the 2-point conversion to tie the game up. I mean, if you can't get excited for a 2-point conversion to tie the game up, I don't know what will make you excited. So I'm not going to overthink this. I like Kansas City in this.
Yeah, Kansas City is just too well coached. They have too many, good players on that team. They've been here before. They've been challenged before. They always rise to the occasion. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady keeps getting older. I hate to bring it up, but, there's been some murmurs of off-the-field trouble. That affects people, whether they like to admit it or not. And I think, like you pointed out, he may be bringing some of that to the field. He just doesn't look like himself.
Yeah, he doesn't look as energetic.
And this is where the Chiefs are going to strike out, and they're gonna snatch a win here when their opponent is feeling a little bit unlike themselves. So I'm going with Chiefs as well. Don't overthink it. You're absolutely right. Next up, though, this one may be a bit of a head-scratcher. We have an NFC division rivalry. The LA Rams are traveling to San Francisco to face off against the 49ers. This is a Monday night game, and this is going to be a good one. I think one of the best so far in this early part of the season. Rich, who do you have winning this one? I think this could go either way.
Any division game is never 100%. But again, I'm not going to overthink this one. I saw the 49ers play Sunday Night Football against the Broncos, and it just seemed like the gears weren't clicking again. I know Jimmy Garoppolo, the fans are excited to see him after Trey Lance got hurt, but I still think he has limitations into what he can do for this team. On the other hand, Rams, I think they're going to start to pull things together. They've got they've got the coaching to get through this. They've got Stafford starting to piece things together. A little worrisome that Allen Robinson hasn't really been the star acquisition wide receiver they thought he was going to be this year. But I still think the Rams, they're the defending Super Bowl champions. Their only loss was the Bills. I can excuse that. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
I disagree.
Oh, another.
I think as a gambling man here, the 49ers are actually very narrowly favored to win this game, and I don't think that's a mistake here. The Rams, just like the Buccaneers, have not been themselves so far this season. The 49ers, what better time to rally than around a backup quarterback, especially against a division rival at home. Not only that, but right now, one of the best ranked defenses in the league. A perfect opportunity to edge out a win here because they're both right now performing similarly on offense. And so the big differentiating factor here is, of course, the defensive play. And right now, San Fran is performing a little bit better there. I think San Fran might have this one. I liked them last year. I like them again this year.
All right, but I'm just going to put it out there. You're also backing the second quarterback to run out of his own end zone.
Oh, well.
All right, fair enough.
It happens.
No, it's only happened twice.
Also, the 49ers beat the Rams in their last matchup. So, I mean, they've done it before. So
last season matchup.
Last season, yeah.
Yeah, because last matchup was the NFC Championship game.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Get your figures right.
That's right. I forgot about that. But they almost won.
Convenient.
The 49ers are going to win.
All right, I'm still going Rams.
Mark my words. All right. And that one more game.
There's one more. Yeah, Mike. 3. Mike's not very good at counting.
Man, I'm tired. It's been a long day today. Next up, we have our very own hometown Philadelphia Eagles playing host to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rich Dougie P's coming back into town. Who's going to win this one? Do we cough up the first loss to the old head coach?
It could happen. Dougie P does know the ins and outs of some of the players on this team. But, I still like the Eagles in this matchup. I think the Eagles can do a solid job here against a formidable and division-leading Jacksonville Jaguars. I will say, don't sell them short. I think the line for this game is 6.5 points. Frank, your dad, says that the Eagles are going to cover the spread. I don't know about that. I think this is going to be a close game. I think this might be the first game we see where we're going to need to see Jalen Hurts lead a crucial drive in the third or fourth quarter. So, we'll see how he handles the pressure there. But I think the Eagles still have enough talent to put this one away at home. I'm still going to run with the Eagles on this one.
It's going to be a game where emotions run high. I was worried last week that it could be a trap game. I'm worried again this week that, again, ranked number 1 in power rankings. Can they live up to the hype and expectations just very simply because the music has run out? I think that they can. I've only picked the Eagles this season, I think, and I'm not going to stop now. They're flying high, and I think they're going to get it done against the old head coach. So that's that.
All right, so there you go. We are disagreeing on the London game. I'm going Vikings. Mikey is going with the Saints. We agree on the Chiefs over Tampa Bay. Disagree on the Monday Night Football game. I'm going Rams. Mike going 49ers. But then we are agreeing with the hometown Eagles to handle Dougie P.
You went Saints. I went Vikings.
Wait, did I? Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm going Vikings.
Freudian slip.
Sorry,
somebody
Freudian
wants to join me with the Vikings.
I'm going Saints. Well, no, the last 2 weeks, the reason why the last 2 weeks, I thought the Vikings were looking good. And then they shut down Justin Jefferson, and there's been no answer from the Vikings so far.
So far, this season has been very surprising.
Sorry, I'm going Saints. Mike's going Vikings. Sorry about that. Anyway, there you go. That's our fantastic 4 picks. Boy, we're messing up everywhere. Mike can't count. I can't read what we agreed upon.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
Well, we better get our S together because there's another segment we have to do here in the Sports Sampler, and that is the area where we're going to hit a couple topics in 3 minutes or less with our unique segment, the 3-minute drill. There you go. What are the topics?
All right, well, it's all football again. First, we have a big question. Should longtime New England head coach Bill Belichick hang it up? This season has not been going the way he thought it was going to go. His starting quarterback now, Mac Jones, will miss 4 to 6 weeks with a severe high ankle sprain. Already, they're sitting at the bottom of the AFC East with a 1-2 record going into Green Bay. Probably going to drop to 1-3. This could be the beginning of a bad downward spiral. 1-3 in that division. I mean,
I wonder
with the Dolphins and the Bills.
I wonder who Belichick is going to be calling for the quarterback, because it's Brian Hoyer was the backup, but I don't think he's like the second string. So I don't know. That'll be interesting. Yeah, this is, boy, so
this
something.
is not the way that Belichick wanted his career to end.
No.
But, I mean,
This is something
what do you do?
This is something we haven't seen in the 21st century, and that is the New England Patriots could be atrociously bad.
Yeah.
They still have 2 meetings with the Bills and another meeting with the Dolphins later on in the year, so that's 3 losses.
Oh, easily. I mean, just in Mac Jones' absence, if he's out 6 games, they're not going to win more than 2 of those.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I took a look at their schedule. I don't think they finish any higher than 6-11. It's a tough schedule they've got. I don't know. I think maybe he should. I don't see the Patriots doing or going anywhere this season.
Yeah. He may not want to, but this may be the end of Bill Belichick in New England. He needs to ask himself if Mac Jones is the guy, if he himself is the guy, because right now I don't think either of them can be the guy. You know who else isn't the guy is the Pro Bowl. The NFL is officially replacing the Pro Bowl with a week-long skills competition and a flag football game. This is actually pretty interesting here. The event will be renamed the Pro Bowl Games. Players will be tested in football and non-football skills. Fans will still vote for their favorites to make the cut of the top 88 players. And the NFL actually is really pushing flag football. I didn't know about this, but I found this out in researching this topic. They've partnered with the International Federation of American Football to bring flag football to the World Games and eventually aim for its inclusion in the 2028 Olympics in LA.
Oh, yeah, because it's safer.
It's safer.
It's much safer.
And honestly, I think this is exactly what the Pro Bowl needs.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the best players in the league stand there and pretend to play football. I would rather them actually play a competitive game without the risk of injury.
Yeah.
Like, they could still be fully competitive and not like half tackle, half block, you know?
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think this is exactly what they need to reinvent the Pro Bowl weekend. And it doesn't surprise me that they want to do flag football, so I am all for it. Definitely agree with you on this reimagining of Pro Bowl weekend, and I think that's a smart way to go for the NFL. And that will wrap up the 3-minute drill, the unique segment here on the Crispy Noodle. And with that, that will wrap up the sports sampler. A lot of news we had to get to there. But for right now, we got to wrap it up there, and we'll take a quick break. But don't go anywhere, because we still got 2 more portions of the show coming your way. We will have the entertainment entree and then the non-fortune cookie odd news still to come. We'll be right back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Don't go anywhere.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 in the morning, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
Yes, already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on?
I don't know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh, my God.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Oh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Oh, man. Week 4 of the NFL coming your way this weekend, so we had to cover all of that in the first part of the show. But now we're going to leave the sports realm, and instead we're going to hit you with some topics in movies, TV, and video games. Folks, it is time for the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You're the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, and with that, we're going to hit you with a topic where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend in the entertainment realm with Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you have for the people to keep an eye out for?
All right, first up in theaters, Vesper is releasing this weekend. This sci-fi thriller follows a 13-year-old girl in a dystopian post-apocalyptic Earth where the ecosystem has completely collapsed. She has to use her wits and biohacking abilities as she struggles to survive with her father. It only has a few reviews so far, but the indie film has been receiving generally positive scores. It's got an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average score in like the mid-7s out of 10. But lots of reviewers are praising the eerie world building, the visuals, and the uniqueness, with some comparing it to a dark fairy tale. So go check that out. It may be hard to find in theaters, but if you can, it may be worth a watch. More readily available to the masses, however, is Hocus Pocus 2, which drops on Disney Plus this Friday. I don't know why this is such a trend, bringing back movies that are like 30-plus years old, but here you go. The original Witchy sisters are back almost 30 years later to reprise their roles for the sequel to the box office flop turned cult classic. Yeah, I mean, you know, I saw a couple scenes from the first one earlier today. You know, my girlfriend had it on in the background, and, you know, it's an awful movie, but But it's fun, right? So maybe Hocus Pocus 2 will be the same. Are you familiar with Hocus Pocus?
I remember seeing it once, and I don't really remember it.
That's not high praise from Rich.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I missed the boat on this one.
Well, if you, however, are a fan of Hocus Pocus and you want to get into
but there are people, man. They
Oh,
love
yeah.
Hocus Pocus.
big fan following. I mean, they're trying to start, like a Hocus Pocus marathon like the Christmas Story has around Halloween time. They're doing this.
I mean, if that floats your boat, I guess you can do it.
It's the same concept, yeah. But, if you're looking to get into spooky season.
Yeah, so my thing is, like, when it came to, like, Halloween movies, to me, I want, like, horror movies. I don't know. I missed the boat on this.
That's
like,
fair.
how can you have a Halloween movie that doesn't have scares in it? Like,
That's
I don't know.
true. That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I want to be spookified.
Right. So, I don't know. That's my prerogative when it comes to Halloween movies.
Well, if you want the family-friendly Halloween stuff, go check out Hocus Pocus 2 on Disney+. And finally in television, just real quick, Hell's Kitchen returning to Fox Thursday at 8 p.m. Yes, I am still going to talk about this show years later. It is one of my favorite guilty pleasure reality TV shows.
Mike loves Gordon Ramsay.
Love Gordon Ramsay, and I love the fact that it combines fine dining with just contestants getting shouted at and belittled. But I always learn a thing or two about cooking as well. I always, they have these really crazy dishes. I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing. I love to see what they come up with, these creative dishes. So
I love the overbearing narrator in that show.
It's so dramatic.
And now Mike will try to make the risotto to Gordon Ramsay's standards.
Right, yeah. But he has to be careful because there's a secret ingredient. Gordon Ramsay has swapped out the risotto with quinoa or, I don't know, something like that.
Let's see if Michael notices.
And then Chef Ramsay just calls me a donkey and kicks me out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Pretty standard.
That sounds about right.
And that's what I'm looking forward to this week in entertainment. And who doesn't like Chef Ramsay calling them a donkey during dinner service?
I like the new thing that he's been doing where like he goes on TikTok or Instagram or something and he reviews like other online recipes and he just like complains about how bad they are.
Oh yeah, I follow him on both Instagram and TikTok and he's hilarious.
Yeah.
People will make the most disgusting things just to get him to comment and to belittle them. Like people have just butchered beef Wellingtons. Like somebody did like an inside out beef Wellington where the center was just like a solid lump of like puff pastry and it had like thinly sliced beef on the outside. We're just dying over there. What just happened?
I don't know. It's disgusting.
So disgusting. I almost put him to sleep over there.
Yeah. Ugh. Why would you? Okay.
It sounds awful. But you know what doesn't sound awful, though, folks?
That gave me indigestion a little bit.
Well, you clear up your indigestion because you got to get hype about this next segment. We have a double dose of trailer talk. 1.5 trailers kind of came out recently this week, the first of which, so exciting for us. Big fans of the video game, HBO's The Last of Us.
Yep.
Had its first official trailer.
HBO had a huge week this week between this and the announcement that they're doing a second season of The Vow, which I am obsessed with.
Wait, isn't it?
It's the documentary about the Nexium cult. Yeah.
I never finished watching that. Now,
well, now you have to because there's so much material that there's a second season coming of this.
Yikes! That's when you know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But instead of talking about The Vow, let's go back to The Last of Us.
Let's
talk about The Vow.
No.
But The Last of Us, the first full trailer, we got great glimpses of Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey as Ellie.
They both look the part. I was so impressed with how this trailer looks.
Oh my gosh! I think, when they first announced the casting of Pedro the Mandalorian as Joel, I was like, I don't know. Do you think he could pull it off? But everything I've seen, I'm like,
I thought he had the look. He had the look of.
I didn't believe it, but every trailer I see, I am more and more convinced this was the absolute perfect casting. Bella Ramsey doesn't quite sell me as Ellie just visually, but I know that she is a fantastic actress from watching her in Game of Thrones. I mean, stole the show in those last couple seasons. So I have high hopes just for her portrayal of the character. But the thing that just impressed me the most about the trailer, the sound and the visuals. I mean, you saw some classic scenes from the video game come to life. And most importantly, the first audio. I know this is going to sound weird for people who may not have played the game, but the first audio of the clickers.
Well, that's the most important part of the clickers.
That is the most iconic part of, I think, the game series. Hearing that sound, it just, I mean, just talking about it just sends chills down my spine.
Yeah.
There's certain sounds in video games and movies and TV shows that are so iconic. And I think that is one of them for The Last of Us.
Yeah, you better get that spot on in order to make The Last of Us TV show.
I think they did.
Yeah. And also the visual of the clicker, too. They had that for just a split second, but it worked.
The first reveal. And it was grotesque. It looked awesome.
Yes.
I mean, I'm looking at a still of it right now. It just looks so freaking ugly.
Mike has already made it his wallpaper on his laptop.
I'm about to. I mean, it's a fantastic shot, and I'm so excited to see them up close. Because in the video game, obviously you see them up close and you fight them, but I think it's just going to hit different in that live action show.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really looking forward to this. I really think it has huge potential to really end that curse of like bad video game adaptations.
Yeah.
I think this can be the first one, because The Last of Us really had like the pace and the quality of a TV show or a movie, just in interactive form.
Yeah. It was... If there was a video game to be made into a TV show, I think it is The Last of Us. It has the narrative flow. It has like the appropriate parts where to cut off for like an episode.
Right.
Yeah. If The Last of Us can't be a hit, I don't know what video game can be a TV hit.
They may as well just scrap all future video game adaptation projects after that.
Yeah.
Because I am very optimistic. I think it's going to do really well. Now, there are going to be some changes. In the trailer, we also got a glimpse of a new character. And, of course, now I've lost that character's name. But playing a new villain, Kathleen, a ruthless leader of a revolutionary movement in Kansas City. So they are making some changes to the overall plot of the game.
There was a Firefly emblem, though, wasn't there?
There was a Firefly emblem, yep. So, maybe they're going to emphasize that aspect, because they weren't really, they were kind of in the game, but also, not really. So, we'll see. They were kind of all killed at the end of the first one, weren't they?
The Fireflies?
Yeah, the Fireflies. Like the
large amount.
Yeah, the bad guys you're fighting they're just generic post-apocalyptic survivors. Yeah. So I'm hoping that we see more of the Fireflies. So excited to see how that goes. Also, a brief glimpse of Riley from the Left Behind DLC in the trailer.
Yeah, they're going to include that storyline.
So I hope, that storyline was very impactful in game form, and I'm hoping that, we'll get the classic cutback, flashback cutscene to, Ellie when she was younger and, her interactions with Riley. I think that lends a lot to the story. So excited to see that as a part of it as well. I think this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, HBO had a very good week with their news, in my opinion.
Absolutely. But the great news didn't stop there, because this was followed up by Disney and Marvel officially announcing Deadpool 3 coming out, hitting theaters in September of 2024. Ryan Reynolds returns. Also, Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine, which introduces a few interesting questions. But let's go over again. Same writers as the first two Deadpool movies, and also confirmed it will retain its R rating like the previous movies. Does this finally put to bed the concern that Disney bought the Fox properties like X-Men and Deadpool, and they're going to, keep them family friendly, they're not going to do adult films? I mean, they said, it's going to be R rated, same writers as the first two films,
Well, I mean, this is only... I think you need to set the bar a little bit higher here. I mean, this is only one film that's an R-rated movie.
How many were there before, though?
Hold on. Well,
okay.
The whole thing, the whole reason is like Disney. They do that. They like to make it more of a broader audience to market to. And I think if they did this right off the bat with Deadpool, I think everybody would come out in arms. Not just because of the fact that it would be the first movie that they would have done this to in the Marvel universe, but also just the fact that Deadpool should never be anything under an R. So I think this was kind of a no-brainer that Disney had to do this. They had to at least allow this movie to be an R-rated movie, but I still think behind closed doors they're going to try and put the pressure, especially how about on like any future films or future superheroes that aren't as established yet. I would believe that could still be on the chopping block to be knocked down to, PG-13 type movies. So I wouldn't exactly be celebrating over this.
Well, I am going to celebrate because this was the concern that Disney was going to immediately neuter Deadpool and the X-Men, and they weren't going to stay true to it.
Well, yeah. What about the rest of the X-Men? I'm sure there's some other X-Men that don't.
They haven't brought them in yet. Also, they pushed the envelope quite a bit with Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness as well. I mean, people were getting crushed and heads ripped off, and all the it wasn't exactly as family
still
friendly.
PG-13.
It's still PG-13, but it was pushing that line. I mean, there was some pretty violent scenes in that movie for Disney superhero films. I know you just want blood and guts everywhere, but
yeah.
But here's the thing, guys, is that comic books are not really all that violent to begin with. They are also meant for children, and Deadpool does push those boundaries. But here it shows Disney's willingness to trend a little bit in that direction in the cases where it makes sense, right? And this is why I argued in the beginning that they bought Fox originally and they kept Hulu as a separate entity because they can keep the family-friendly stuff on Disney Plus, and then they have all their adult content on Hulu. And they recently added new parental restrictions to Disney Plus because they are introducing more mature content on the service. So I think that this is nothing but a positive. We're getting, because they could have.
Yeah, it still is a positive.
They could have neutered him. There's nothing wrong with.
I don't want you to think like, let's have a parade for Disney or something. Like, I don't know. I'm still keeping my eye.
All I'm saying is give props where props is due. They could have very easily been like, nope, Deadpool's part of the MCU. He's not allowed to curse. He's not allowed to do it. They could have.
If they did that, there would have been a huge backlash.
Disney doesn't care. They could have. They absolutely could have.
If they didn't care, then I don't think that they're not even right in the first place then.
Here's always my argument. They didn't accidentally become a multi-billion-dollar company that turned no-name superheroes into family household names. You don't do that accidentally.
They didn't really. They just bought the entities that already did that.
I don't think you're giving them enough credit.
I'm not.
In that
I refuse to give Disney
that
credit.
They know how to play the he's not the guy clip for yourself.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I'll do it. Yeah, Disney's not the guy as far as I'm concerned. Get the hell out of here.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
Yeah, I had a guy.
Look,
I had Fox.
Look,
I had Star Wars.
Don't be salty.
Now I don't.
Don't be salty because Star Wars sucks.
Now it's all under the stupid Disney banner. Yeah,
you also have to include
I had a guy, but now I don't.
You also have to include Mandalorian and Obi-Wan in that, and Rogue One. They were good. And Andor.
I haven't watched Andor yet.
And Last Jedi. Neither have I. But I.
But I Mandalorian and
most
Rogue One
Star
were
Wars
very
projects under Disney have been positive. It's just
except for the sequel trilogy.
Just 7 and 9. 8 was good. I would argue 7 was good too.
Yeah. I'm not giving them enough. No, I'm not giving them credit.
No, here's the credit that you should give them. Disney absolutely could have done whatever they wanted to do because they routinely do whatever they want to do. They don't care about what people complain about. They've removed episodes of The Simpsons for lesser offenses. They removed the episode where Michael Jackson voices Michael Jackson, the bald, big construction worker, and sings the song to Bart or to Lisa. They removed that episode from the streaming service. They could have completely neutered Deadpool. They didn't because they knew that it made more sense to keep him as is because they understand the concept of staying true to characters and telling good stories.
I think you're not setting the bar high enough.
What's the bar?
The bar is don't do stupid shit like that.
They didn't. But they didn't.
Well, just for one thing. Oh, whoop-de-doo.
But the fear was that they would, and they didn't.
Yeah, well, the door's not shut on that either.
All right, well, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, well, the proof in the pudding is going to come with like some of the future things with X-Men stuff like that. I think that'll be the line in the sand. We'll see.
I think that Disney proved a lot of people wrong with this.
If they came out and, as you said, neutered Deadpool, I'm pretty sure everybody would have a field day over that. I think Deadpool's too established to mess with. Everybody, for the most part, knows Deadpool and for the most part respects and likes the movie and stuff like that. And
what's really funny is that there were only 3 R-rated superhero movies in Logan and the 2 Deadpools. So I don't know where everybody got this idea that the X-Men had to be like uber violent.
Cause why not? I want to see some
people
cutting things up.
It was Logan, and that was just a lot of blood. There wasn't really anything about it that was like outlandishly R-rated. The only really 2 egregiously R-rated movies were the Deadpool movies, and Disney was like, yeah, that's an essential part of the character and the story, and they held true to it.
Okay.
They should get some props for that.
They get the first prop, but that's it.
They got a prop, though.
They got one single solitary prop.
Well, there were only 3 to give, and they got one of them.
I don't think it's enough to start a parade in the streets over.
I'm starting a parade.
Yeah, I know. You're like about to launch the damn Disney balloon or something. I don't know. The Disney float or something. You're going to march down the street. Is there a main street in Disney World? I don't know.
Rich, you need to go to Disney World.
I'm never going to go to Disney World.
You need to go. It's the happiest place on earth.
Not for me.
It will heal your old curmudgeonly man heart.
No,
yes.
It has everything I hate.
What, food?
No, it has too many people, amusement rides, kids. Just
yeah, but if you go to Epcot, you can have food and drinks from all around the world, but in one area. You don't got to go nowhere except for
Epcot. But I gotta pay an exorbitant amount of money to get through people. No, I'm good, thank you. Is it in Florida? No, I'm not gonna go to Florida. Get the hell out of here.
No, I'm not gonna go to Florida.
Yeah.
All right, wow.
All right. Have you heard our odd news? I'm not going to Florida.
I have, and Florida is still fun, and Disney World is still fun. God damn it.
No, not going to Florida. Speaking of Florida,
humbug.
I think that's a good transition into our final segment, the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. Oh, what does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths, and I'm ready to get started. Are we, in fact, heading to Florida?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, we got a double dose of Florida.
Oh, boy.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Yeah, I told you I'm not going to Florida anytime soon. We keep having stories from Florida.
It is a fun place.
Oh, boy. It's something. Our first story is one of those stories, kind of not really a whole lot of too much information, but you'll get the gist right off the top of the bat.
Okay.
This one is happening in Hernando County. According to sheriffs, on Sunday morning at 1 in the morning, Hernandez County sheriff's detectives were driving home from an off-duty detail when they saw a van that had 3 Florida males come out of it, jump onto a light pole, and try to remove various traffic lights from the corner.
All right.
Yeah, just, boy, man, you know what I really want in my room? I want some damn traffic lights.
I mean, it would be kind of a cool, thing to have, a traffic light.
Remember back in, the 90s, that was, a thing?
Like, everybody wanted to steal, a stop sign.
Yeah.
But are these guys bringing it back?
I think they're trying to, yeah.
You know what? It's just too much effort.
It is, I feel like.
It would be cool, but also, they're huge. I don't think people realize, because they're, up there, they're kind of big.
Yeah. They're actually pretty monstrous. So the driver of the van had stopped the vehicle near the intersection and turned off the vehicle's headlights. The detective that was off duty then observed sparks flying from the traffic lights.
Oh, my God.
And that was because one of the individuals had a saw that they were using to cut the lights off of the poles.
Yikes.
Look, in Philadelphia, we just climb on the poles. That's it. We don't do anything afterwards.
We're not trying to take anything down. We just want to get to the top. Okay.
Yeah, right. We're not trying to take this home. Oh, by the way, on your mention of how big the lights are.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how much an actual traffic light actually costs?
How much?
Like an actual working city traffic light.
Right.
On average, costs $5,000.
That's expensive.
Yeah. So they are bigger.
For a light.
They're bigger than what you're thinking of.
Yeah, I looked it up. They're like 3 feet tall. They're big. They're not they look tiny, but they're not. They're large.
Yep. Boy, this must have been awkward. The off-duty detective walked up and asked them what they were doing.
I mean, that's the best way to start the investigation, is to be like, hey, what's up?
Yep. That's when, boy, they're not very creative. They all just admit it. Quote, "We're stealing the traffic lights. They look pretty cool, huh?"
I mean, you might as well be honest at that point. They caught you.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, what did you want them to say?
I want, be a little creative or something. I don't know.
We're inspecting them.
Yeah. One of them flashed red and green at the same time. That was the international symbol for inspection.
That's right. We're the Florida Light Inspection Crew.
Yeah, something. Come
the
on.
Flick.
Flick. Yeah, there you go. We're the Flick. That would have been 10 times more interesting than just giving up and saying, "Oh, they're cool."
Yeah, they're cool. We're trying to steal them.
Yeah. By the way, I do have a picture of their mug shots here. If I can load up. There we go. There's the winners right here.
Oh, yeah. They look like people who would try to steal a traffic light.
Yeah. That's Aaron Ward, James Donnelly, and Oleski Naumenko. What a name.
Russian.
Oleski. I think it's Ukrainian.
Oh.
The ko at the end.
Oh.
Oleski Naumenko. There we go. I think I said that one right. Well, unfortunately, because they are valued at $5,000 a piece, they are all getting charged with grand theft.
Yikes.
They are being held in lieu of a $2,000 bond each. So, well, I guess how cool are they now?
I don't know. They how many lights were they trying to steal? Just the one?
No, I think they were trying. Look, there's 3 of them, so I'd imagine
each one of them needed one.
Right. I think they were trying to get the full,
like all of them.
Right. Because usually on a busy intersection you have 2 for the lanes and then the one on the side.
Right. So they were trying to get all 3. I mean, it makes sense. It would suck if only 2 of them got lights and the third guy just didn't get one.
Yeah, you can't cut up a light. Then it doesn't work.
You can't split it 3 ways. You got to get all 3.
Yeah. So
fair is fair.
Yeah, fair is fair. But unfortunately, I hope you guys thought it was so cool because you're getting charged with grand theft. And who knew traffic lights were that expensive. $5,000.
Yeah, I didn't know that they'd be that expensive. I didn't know that they were that large. I mean, I had an idea, but looking it up, they look pretty freaking big.
Yep. All right, so that's one story. Let's get to our second story in our double dose of Florida.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
All right. This story the story originated in Jacksonville, Florida, but it got popular on a British morning show.
Okay.
That is because we are again going to check up on the show This Morning. Apparently, This Morning loves.
We heard something from this show before.
Yes, whoever the producers are for this show, they have just no qualms about contacting random people. They have just no boundaries. They're willing to go for broke. And that is because they found a sophomore student at the University of Florida who first says that, quote, she fell in love with a calculator. So there you go. That's where we're at.
Not this again.
Yes, that's where we're at already.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
Yes, so first off, she's in love with a calculator. This happened during her freshman year at college. She says the name of the calculator. I can't believe it has a name. This has a whole backstory. Yeah, we're entering into this universe from this Florida student. She says that she fell in love with the calculator, and the name of the calculator is Pierre de Fermat.
Oh my!
The French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
Yeah, I guess she must be a fan of the French.
How do you spell Fermat?
Fermat.
Okay.
The T is silent.
Oh, okay. I looked it up. It's a guy. It's a French mathematician. She named the calculator after a. Let me see here. What century is this? A 17th century French mathematician.
Oh. So she's not even being original with this.
That's dumb.
Oh, come on.
Just gave him a regular name.
All right. Well, unfortunately, there's a reason why I'm saying this right off the bat, and that is because this is just the first leg of the story, folks.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, college students, things break. And apparently she broke her beloved calculator. So unfortunately, unfortunately, Pierre de Fermat is no longer with us.
The French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
Yeah, so unfortunately, no French calculator for you.
That is tragic.
Yes. If we're going to go to extreme levels of loving and stuff, is this murder? Like, she accidentally dropped, or what do you call it, manslaughter?
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, right?
So she was responsible for his death.
Yeah, in a weird way. Yeah,
she dropped him?
Apparently, yes. So, no more calculator. Pierre is dead, unfortunately.
Damn.
Sorry. By the way, her real name is Noodle Majabin Hassan.
Okay.
But that's when, after she suffered this horrible loss of the calculator, that's when she fell for something else that she says has made her heart aflutter and has been a stronger love than she has ever felt before.
Wow, that's intense.
Yes. The math major, Noodle Mahabin Hassan, decided to rename herself Fractal Tetris Huracan.
What?
And has announced that she is in love with the game of Tetris. Yes.
I mean, like, everybody likes a game of Tetris.
No, she's saying she's in love with the game of Tetris.
What? Like, the code of it? Like, I don't understand. Like, does she have a cartridge? Like, what does that mean, the game of Tetris?
Yes.
Because the game is like, it's kind of like, it's intangible. Like, it's a concept, right? It's like, it's a digital thing.
Yes, but apparently this is what sets her heart aflutter.
But she changed her name as well to Tetris.
Yes.
Hurricane Tetris, something like that.
Fractal Tetris Huracan.
Fractal Tetris Huracan.
Yes. That's supposed to show that she's marrying the game, by the way.
What part of that?
The Tetris part.
What are the other parts of it, though?
Fractal, I guess, is a math term.
Is that her new first name, Fractal?
Yes.
What's Huracan? Was that her regular last name?
No, her regular last name was Hassan.
Where did Huracan come from?
That I don't know.
She's making stuff up now.
Yes. Well, it's better than copying things off previous names.
I guess.
So, see, she says that the attraction to Tetris is undeniable. She plays dozens of hours of Tetris per day, collects Tetris clothing, hats, and jewelry.
Okay, so she's a fan. That's not love.
Well, no, she's going to marry Tetris.
What? What? The cartridge? The game cartridge?
She's
the code of it? Like I still don't understand.
She put that as her name.
Tetris.
Yes, Tetris is her name. It's part of her name. Yes. And once this rumor got about, she was interviewed on our new favorite show here this morning. And I have just a still because obviously we can't play the clip. But there she is. She's got her Tetris hat on. She's got her Tetris handheld game, a Tetris shirt. And, yep, I'm in love with my Tetris, and we're hoping to wed.
I mean, that is definitely a big Tetris fan. Also, I know this show. I've seen clips from this show before. These guys are pretty funny.
Well, I'll tell you what. Their producers have no qualms about getting into contact with any story.
People.
Yeah, so kudos to this show. I gotta keep an eye on this show. This is crazy.
But I still don't understand how you're going to marry a video game.
Yep.
It's just crazy. I mean, I guess it's just as crazy as marrying the airplanes and Ferris wheels and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, look, compared to what we've seen being married, I think this could be in the realm.
People have married fences, Ferris wheels, the airplane parts.
Hull.
Somebody was sexually attracted to cars.
Yep.
There's just a few of them off the top of my head. Lots of inanimate objects.
Yep. Noodle also was asked about the physical aspect of the relationship. She only responded that, quote, I think Tetris is so beautiful. He is perfection, and he stimulates your mind.
Whoa.
Wow, so Tetris is a male, I guess. I didn't know that.
Damn.
I guess it makes sense.
Well, those long blocks.
The long blocks are very
You got to slide it right
masculine.
in. Get that Tetris.
Yeah, so I guess if you ever were curious what sex or what gender Tetris is,
look,
it's a dude.
She's playing with a rumble controller.
Yeah, it's going in and out.
She's trying to get that high score.
Yeah, very important.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
She says, quote, physically, I get that feeling that people in relationships get, but with Tetris. You just know that they are the right one.
What happens when the batteries die?
Oh, no! Is it dead again? Does she have to go find another game?
Well, wait, here's a question. Like, when the batteries die and you replace the batteries, is that kind of like a heart transplant for Tetris?
Yeah. Is it the same Tetris?
I don't know.
Or is it a new Tetris?
Is this, what's his name, Sisyphus' ship or whatever? Theseus' ship? I can't
Ship
remember.
of Theseus,
Ship
yeah.
of Theseus, yeah. I couldn't remember whose ship it was. It's
Yeah,
not her ship.
No, it's not her. She doesn't have her ship together.
No, she doesn't.
She literally changed her name to Fractal Tetris Huracan.
To represent her marriage. Only one of those things is related to the marriage.
Yeah.
The other two are just completely... Fractal is a math thing, but I don't know where Huracan came from.
She also admitted in the interview that in her childhood, she found attraction to things like monorails and iPods.
Monorail.
Yeah. Monorail.
Monorail.
Mono. Don't. Mono. Ooh. That's her instead of Homer.
Yeah. She was attracted to monorails
And iPods.
and iPods. There is nothing at all similar between these three things: iPods, Tetris, and monorails.
Yeah. But
I don't see it. You can't even say that she has a type.
yeah, she's all over the place.
She's all over the place.
Yep.
And I can't believe, hold on, let's rewind all the way back to the beginning of the story. Her first love died.
Yes.
Nay, was murdered.
By her hand because she dropped Pierre.
And she just turns around and hooks up with the very next video game to come along?
Yeah, she should be guilty for manslaughter for killing Pierre de Fremont.
She killed Pierre for his life insurance. And she used that to go buy
a Tetris game.
Yes,
there you go.
This is a web of lies.
This is
Huracan, Fractal, Fractal Huracan.
Fractal Tetris Huracan.
It's a web of lies.
This is the new double indemnity.
Yeah.
Take that.
Despicable.
Tetris indemnity.
Can't believe she would stoop this low.
Yes.
So sad.
She says in the interview, it's not so much about the Tetris cartridge itself, it's the game itself. I find him so attractive.
So she's marrying the code of Tetris.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense.
She says that it is a intimate relationship.
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
And,
is that offensive?
God.
No, it's not.
Oh my! Wait! This gets better.
Oh God!
And on the show, they asked her, "What does a date consist of?"
Oh man!
And she says, "My dates with him usually take us to the library, and we play with each other for hours on end."
Oh.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed, it was erotic.
I know you're pushing Tetris's buttons, but how does he press yours?
Oh. I don't know. Is there a rumble pack that
there has to be?
There's got to be something that vibrates.
Also, you shouldn't do that in the library. That's because there's children trying to read. Knock it off.
Do kids know what libraries are?
Knock it off, Fractal. I don't know. Probably not. It's probably just a bunch of creepy 6-year-olds watching.
and this Tetris chick trying to have a date with
That's
her game.
Fractal to you.
Fractal Tetris the fourth.
Mrs. Fractal Tetris Huracan.
Yeah.
They play with each other for hours.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I've heard a lot of gross things in my life, but for some reason, that's pretty gross.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Something about that just doesn't sound good.
Yep. She is hoping that the fact that she changes her name to Tetris will be acknowledged by the government that she is married Tetris, but according to
that's not how that works.
Yep, but according to legal experts, that is not a thing. So,
well, I can just change my name to anybody else's name and be married to them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Mrs. Gates. Then can I get some of Bill Gates' fortune? Like,
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
I'm Bill Gates's.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
Hi, I'm Bill Gates's fifth cousin, eighth removed.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Could you imagine the
Yep.
chaos?
And she says that when they have their formal wedding, she would like to invite her friends and family to the ceremony. So
It's going to be awkward because when the priest is like, say I do, Tetris just goes, do, 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 do.
yeah, is there? I don't know. Yeah, what other sound effects are there in Tetris? I don't think there.
I think it's just the booping.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other. I can't.
I haven't played Tetris
I
in
think
a
there's
while.
there's a slight explosion sound effect when you get a full Tetris and it goes in.
No, that's for the wedding night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Ooh, that long line's going right in, baby.
That's the honeymoon. That's the wedding night, the honeymoon. That's not the actual ceremony. Is that what it sounds like? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Ooh, it's going in there, baby.
What do their children look like? Like Tetris Junior? Like small blocks? Like how does that work?
Yeah, are they just the little tiny square block thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Do they have to evolve into like the zigzag shape, or grow up?
Yeah, is each block like a
is it like
step
a different
in life?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, what is the development cycle of a Tetris?
Yeah.
You know
we
what I
don't
mean?
know.
Yeah. Like,
She's-
how do they grow? How do they feel? How do they love?
She's boldly going into the Tetris.
She's going to find
family.
out. Yeah, it's going to be a very one-sided relationship. Tetris doesn't do any household chores. He doesn't do the dishes or fold the laundry. He just sits there and beeps all day long.
Yeah. But apparently she can handle it. She devotes
well, I mean, I guess the good news is that
hours a day to that.
he doesn't eat anything and he doesn't wear any clothes, so
Yeah, there you go. So you don't have to worry about that.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not buying it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? At the end of the day,
What happens when a new video game comes along? Is she going to be able to remain faithful?
Well, at the end of the day, I'm sure she plays with it and it plays with her. So
yeah.
I know some women who could hide a machine gun in there.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Just handle it up.
We keep talking about the Rumble controllers. It's,
Yeah. There you go.
I know some women who could hide a machine gun in there.
Yeah.
Or a controller.
Oh yeah, something like that. What a love story.
What a love story. I can't wait to see the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, right. There's going to be a movie in 10 years. Dear God. And what happened to Pierre de Fermat?
I'm really upset that she literally murdered her boyfriend.
Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries, the tale of the adored calculator, Pierre de Fermat.
One day it worked perfectly fine. The next, not so much.
The suspect, a 20-year-old sophomore.
She claims she was using him earlier that day, but then can't account for a period of time in the late afternoon where witnesses claim the calculator was left unattended.
After the calculator's death, she conveniently finds her new love interest with Tetris and changes her name?
Family members did think it was odd that Tetris came out of seemingly nowhere immediately following the death. I feel like this could be a whole thing.
Yeah. This literally
this is a 2-hour television special.
Yeah, right there.
Easily.
Bam.
TV. Call me.
Yes. Netflix.
All
somebody.
of TV.
Netflix. Disney
Netflix,
Plus.
yeah.
Somebody.
All the streaming services and television channels.
We got a story for you.
Who does the most true crime? I think it's Netflix. No.
Probably. Yes. There you go. Netflix can
hit us up.
Yep. All right. And there you go. That's what I have for you this week.
Murder, love, Tetris. I mean, the Odd News had everything.
Yes. But with that, we need to start wrapping up the show because we don't want to get knocked off ourselves. We don't want anybody to drop us.
Fractal is out to get people.
Apparently.
She's kicking ass and taking names.
I mean, she's willing to drop Pierre.
Yeah.
So we need to mind our P's and Q's, and we need to start wrapping up this show. Thank you guys for tuning in and supporting us. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure that you follow us on all the video platforms that we're on. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook Live, Facebook Watch. And we're on Spotify. So make sure between those 3 services you're subscribed so that you get the latest episodes sent directly to you and you can watch. Or on Spotify, you can actually listen to us like a traditional podcast in the background. So it's up to you how you want to enjoy our show. But all of those 3 avenues have the video feed. So, and with the video feed, we can show you visuals like some of those wacky criminals and stuff like that. So it's been a pleasure to do the video form of the show with you.
Yep, absolutely. There's so many ways to watch the Crispy Noodle podcast, but if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on the Twitters. Let us know what's happening. If you've got an odd news story you want us to talk about next week, send it my way. If you have any other topic suggestions, send it to either one of us. And if we do talk about your story or your topic, we'll give you the sausage shout out. And you will be rewarded internally and emotionally and mentally and
just
like a love with Tetris.
You'll feel so fulfilled.
Yes.
Almost like it was the last missing piece to make your life complete.
Like that long block to complete the Tetris.
That's right.
That's what we are.
It's beautiful.
Here on the Crispy Noodle podcast. Once again, thank you guys for supporting us. But for now, we got to wrap this up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news.
And the long piece in your Tetris.
And the long piece in your Tetris. Let that be us. But for right now, that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.